Alright, in this video I'm going to go over movement. Um, this is one of the mechanics in the game that is pretty unique in a card game at least. It works out really well. A lot of people seem to kind of ignore the movement phase as it's just, just movement, like it's no big deal. But as you get to playing the game more often and you understand it, you realize that movement is actually very important, such as it is in chess. Um, I guess to get things started, I'll go over a standard card layout with the movement. Um, the little armored boot there, if it'll focus, there you go, is your unit's movement pace. Your units and your war machines have a movement pace that will tell you how many spaces, squares, whatever you want to call them, they can move during the movement phase. Um, your standard units can only move forwards, back, and side to side. Your generals, however, like your queens and chess, they can move their movement pace in any direction they want. So they could move one over here, one diagonal, one back, or like this one has a two movement pace, so it could move two, two, or two. So keep that in mind um, with movement. Um, the reason why I say that is because there are flanking bonuses and rear attack bonuses in War of the Veils. If you are attacking a unit from the side, it's a standard flanking bonus. It's just a +1 to the attack roll, but you only get it for the initial attack. It's not something that stays constant, you just get it for that initial attack. Now, if you are attacking a unit from behind, it's it's uh it's what's called a rear attack, obviously. You get that +1 to the attack roll that you would get from a standard flank, but you also get a +1 to all damages done. Like, even if it was an archer unit from back here hitting it in the rear from the two spaces, it would count as a rear attack and it would get the +1 to the attack roll and the +1 to the damage. But again, it's only on the initial attack. It doesn't stack for each attack after that. Um, there are two other concepts that are involved in movement. One would be, let me see if I have, here we go. One would be garrisoning, and basically, if you have a structure out in play, just to garrison a unit, structure, you just move the unit on top of the structure, and it's considered garrisoned. And then the unit would get the garrison bonus that that structure allows. The other aspect to movement is raiding and invading. Um, Invading is pretty simple. As soon as you clear out the no man's land or whatever, and you come into your opponent's battlefield, you're invading. Um, One of the unique things about invading is that once you cross over, you can actually start putting your own structures inside your opponent's battlefield, but it has to be within a 1 square radius of the invading unit. So you can kind of start taking territory if you want to. The other thing is raiding. Raiding is pretty cool. Really hard to do most of the time, but it's actually pretty cool. Um, Raiding involves you making it to your opponent's resource zone. And once that happens, you can choose to either take one of their resources for your own or destroy one of their resources. And once you choose whatever you want to do, the raiding unit, damn sleeve, the raiding unit just comes back to your side of the battlefield and you anywhere on the first row. So that is raiding. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much movement in a nutshell. Like I said, most people seem to think movement is just something, just haphazard, just move stuff, screw it, and, whatever happens, happens. But later on in the game, when you start actually fighting with your opponent, movement becomes really, really important. Not only because of the flanking, but because a lot of skills that units have involve a certain square, a certain radius, especially like spells, which we'll get into its own video, but I'll give you, like, if it'll focus. Well, maybe not. Hopefully I'll get it down with the other video. But anyways, um, spells have a casting radius, so you have to be within the radius to cast a spell at your target. So again, movement is very important. Don't just treat it as some kind of a second tier like thing that your units can do. It's extremely important. So that covers movement. I guess we're pressing on to the next one, and I appreciate you guys with powering through this with me.